people that you ever did see. Younger than springtime or a newborn baby. And the show is gonna surely make you shout. Yes, ma'am. We're talking about 5 questions with James and Jam. Yeah, that's it. Uh-huh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 5 Questions with James and Jam.
There's no riffing.
There's no riffing in 5 Questions with James and Jam. There is no riffing.
You ever feel like you're just getting too old to riff?
Yeah, I'm getting too old for a lot of things.
Me too.
But, you know, that is it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to 5 Questions with James and Jam. If you're alive and in the house today, please let us know that you are here so we can see you and love on you and tell you hello and interact with us, please. Just so you know, our special guest tonight are
Joe Iconis,
fantastic Joe Iconis, and the scintillating, the marvelous, the glorious Lauren Marcus. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So
I'm super excited.
I am so super excited about getting to have a conversation with them. We had a little pre-chat right before we started the show, and Joe Iconis is in backstage putting on a jacket and getting all like professional looking. You should see it, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing things. He's setting up his whole space. He's like, stop telling people what I'm doing. I'm telling them, Joe. I'm telling them. Oh my gosh! Look at people. I see Vinny and Sky and Corey and Christine and Teresa. I hope I'm saying your name right. I love it, Teresa. Yes, Christine.
Yeah, it looks like, Jam, you're in a new spot.
I am. This is my new apartment. It's my new apartment. I'm still setting it up. So I'm glad you're looking at this side, because on this side is nothing but boxes. So you're not seeing that side of the apartment.
I am also not in the right spot. I'm in the Catskill. Well, I'm in Woodstock. I'm at an Airbnb in Woodstock just for a couple days, apparently in the snow.
Yes, relaxing and refreshing.
Yeah.
Reinventing. And Elle Morgan Lee from London. How are you doing in London? Elle Morgan Lee, the new star of The Danish Girl. They should put that on.
See, no riffing. That was very good.
I know. I'm trying. Elle Morgan, they should
I'm
put
upstairs.
Oh, you all have stairs.
We're in. But it's like a little farmhouse.
Okay. If you will notice in our background,
how's decorating?
Decorating.
Speaking of background.
So 2 days ago in our show meeting, this was the conversation that I had with James, and we were like, well, we got to talk about
the conversation of the meeting, and he was like, I have a very serious question to ask you. And I was like, oh my God. Like, hi, Barbara Whitman.
Hi,
he was like,
Barbara
I have a very
Whitman.
serious question to ask you. And I was like, oh, well, shit. Yes, but ask me your very serious question.
My question was, how are you taking care of displaying your Obie Award? Because the Obie Award is a certificate, but it has like a citation on one thing, and then like the award, but then it comes in this beautiful binder. And I'm like, but so I want to display all of it.
I said, oh, that's right, because it's different than your Lucille Lortel Award.
You mean that one?
And I was like, are we having the most obnoxious, bougie, ridiculous actor conversation ever? And I said, you know what? We should probably talk about this. And because it is a legitimate question. And I know that there are people out there who like to pretend they have feelings and act like people are talking through their awards. But we just had questions about where to hang them. So
how. So,
I travel with mine.
Yeah. To the Catskills. Mine's over there. Like, James was literally like, why isn't it up? I'm like, okay, I guess it's
right, but it's very intricate to hang. I'll even show you.
So you know, if anybody knows like Donna Murphy or know somebody
I
who
said,
has
oh, we should call Carolee Carmelo and see where
Carolee
she's
Carmelo.
putting hers.
How do you deal with your opioid
Right.
word? Like, how do you do
Right.
it?
If you could just let us know, because I would love, if there's any way I could stop having to travel with my Obie award.
Oh my gosh, Al Morgan, this is my concern.
Mine has magazines on top of it. I'd love to ask, like, I know these are very hot button questions right now
I know.
because people are very concerned about what anyone with awards has to do or say.
It's so silly. But anyway,
It's silly.
yes, I'm in my new apartment, and today felt like a momentous day. I cooked my first meal in my apartment today, so that was delicious. That was wonderful. So
Is it time for our first segment?
I think so. Let me just see who let's with Al Morgan, Michelle Kippenham.
Michelle Kippenham is back. Hi.
All right. It's so nice. Everyone, please feel free to ask questions and let us know that you're here. Not in the Dutch oven. I did a
You have a
roast.
Dutch oven?
Girl, I got a Dutch oven and a brazier and a roasting pan and all manner of cast iron skillets.
Oh,
I can throw down in it. Yeah,
you're fancy.
you know.
Al Morgan has just noted that the corner I'm in this kitchen of the farmhouse. Hi, George. It looks like the set of A Strange Loop where I was in the corner in the kitchen doing my crossword puzzles,
which you did every night, and you even bought new ones.
I made them go get new ones when I ran out. I was like, these crossword puzzles have been done, and it disturbs the arc of my character if I don't have crossword puzzles.
Oh my gosh. All right, so it is now time for our first segment. 3 minutes.
I'm in a very weird mood. Because we just celebrated a birthday.
Yes, Luther Vandross's 70th birthday was...
What? Stephen Brackett is on. Stephen Brackett is on.
Brackett. Oh my God.
I quit the play. I quit. I'm out.
Oh my God.
Stephen Brackett.
This is a momentous... I want to do like a praise dance, but I don't want to upset the new neighbors. So I'm not going to do it.
This is why it's snowing. This is why it's snowing this close to May.
Because sometimes it snows in April. Do you know that song? That Prince song?
I did. Prince.
Yes. So Stephen Brackett is here, but
hi, my darling. So 3 minutes is we dedicate 3 minutes each week to something that we just feel people need to dedicate 3 minutes to, and we wanted to dedicate 3 minutes to the 70th birthday of Luther Vandross.
What a fantastic singular voice he had. And I think
he said there were a lot of babies made to Luther Vandross' music.
So many little baby cousins made because of Luther Vandross's music. And it was always like at the party when you saw like, the adults kind of like dancing.
My mother and my Aunt Hazel, my dad's youngest sister, they went to go see him often.
Oh.
And I would hear stories about like, you hear stories about like people throwing panties at the stage, but I was like, that doesn't happen. I've seen it happen before.
He was getting Teddy Pendergrass.
He was getting Teddy Pendergrassed.
Oh my God. I used to.
What's your favorite Luther Vandross song?
You know what? So my favorite Luther Vandross song is actually one that is from the group he was in, Changes. In the glow of love. Da, 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 da.
I don't know that one.
Oh, you don't know it? It's called In the Glow of Love.
Okay.
It's fantastic. But also his version of Superstar is like, I know it was a Carpenter song, but
it makes me go, who?
But was it really? For Black people, it is a Luther Vandross song. I'm sorry. Like,
my favorite is, I'm so basic when it comes to Luther, but I'm basic in general. It's Never Too Much.
Ooh, great song. Yes, Al Morgan, he was in a group called Changes. That's where he started, or one of the places where he started. And if you and they're an incredible group.
I gotta find that.
but Glow of Love is great. But it was always like, I remember like at the party, I would always kind of like look and go, my uncle looks like he's trying to get inside
Do
my
something.
auntie on the dance floor.
Well, let me
to
tell you
this
what.
Vandross song.
I told you the other day, Miss Geraldine Jackson, her favorite artist was Luther Vandross. And she, remember the song Power of Love? All of the power of love. So that she bought the 12-inch dance out. It's such a good step touch. That's the thing. My mother was the queen of the step touch. So, and she would always have the tip of her tongue hanging out when she danced. So she bought the 12-inch dance album of Love, Power, Love, whatever. And it was around Halloween, and I went out trick-or-treating, and she was so excited because she was going to stay at home and pass out the candies to the kids and play her new Luther Vandross 12-inch dance album with the remixes and like the 20-minute instrumental version on the B-side. She put it on and she turned that shit up so loud. And I remember being out in the neighborhood trick-or-treating and toilet papering and doing whatever. And you could hear it through the entire neighborhood blaring from the house. I ran into like friends of mine from school and they were like, dude, what's going on at your mom's house? And I was like, Luther Vandross is on and she's in there having a dance party. Nobody went to the house. I came back home and she was like, we didn't have that many trick-or-treaters. Nobody really came. And I was like, because it's loud as hell in here with Luther Vandross. And I know you've been dancing because it was hot and it had that I see you sweat out your perm. It was just hot. So that was my Luther Vandross Power of Love story.
And little black children knew to mind their P's and Q's when Luther Vandross was on and adults were doing things that we didn't fully understand.
All of a sudden, like, they would stop playing spades or stop playing bid whist. And you would just notice, like, one by one, they would all start to disappear.
Just kind of coupling up and, like, doing a little thing like this. And you're like, it's time for me to go outside and play.
Right. Go get you a little ball or something and go run up and down that street. But don't knock on this door.
So Luther Vandross, lots and lots of black babies.
Do a deep dive. So yeah, we're gonna post some of our favorite Luther.
Yeah.
There's a moment I was watching the other day of it was like him, Whitney, Dion, and Stevie Wonder. They did a version of That's What Friends Are For. Oh, a house is not a home. Yes.
So good. So good. It's so good. He was.
I miss him.
Yeah. And I mean, we could do a whole nother deep dive. It's a shame that he didn't really get to live his full authentic life.
I know.
Because gay, unlike people were not.
My mother, I remember her calling me watching his funeral because she took the day off work. Because it's a national black holiday. And she called me and she was just crying. She was so sad. And none of the women in my family would believe he was gay.
Oh, well, no. I mean,
they wouldn't believe it. I was like, what? And my cousin Nadine walked up to me. Tell me about Nadine. She came up to me at the cookout and everybody, my parents were around, everybody was around. And she was like, oh, people were like, oh, he's growing into a handsome young man. I don't know. I always give people a Jewish accent, but black folks. People were like, oh, he's grown into such a handsome young man. And my cousin Nadine, I have to call her on this. She said, oh, he looks like one of the Vandross children. Mm-hmm. And I don't think she actually thought he had children. I feel like she was calling me out. Nadine goes by Nene. She was calling me out. So Nene, who might be listening, her Facebook name is Red Button Jackson, but I'm going to find her. I'm going to remind her. Oh, he looks like one of the Vandross children.
All right. So because the both of them are in the backstage area in the green room, eagerly waiting to come on. So let me find our little video asset and bring them in. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren Marcus and Joe Iconis. They're wonderful. They're scintillating. They're talented. They're beautiful. They're glorious. They're magnificent.
They're a power couple.
They're a power couple. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Iconis and Lauren Marcus. round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They are here, they're here, they're here. How are you two lovely human beings?
Hello. Hi, we're good. We're in separate locations in case anyone's like, why? What are they doing?
What's going on? Like, why are they together?
Yeah, we do live together. That is something.
We normally reside in the same one bedroom apartment.
Did Joe have beans and you were like, get out?
I was like, you need.
You're going to the Super 8 in Stuytown.
Get out of this house, you greasy bottom man.
No, he smells great. He always smells great. Truly.
Thank
Immediately. So Elle Morgan always is watching, and she's one of our most loyal. She's so on it. And so she will clock the first thing.
Everything.
And immediately, the first question, what's with the separate screen? What's going on? So they are in the same state.
We're in the same state.
Yeah.
I'm live from glorious Long Island, from the suburbs of Long Island. And I'm in my so it's not my childhood bedroom, but it's the house where my family lives because my mom had knee replacement surgery a few days ago, and so I'm on Long Island hanging out with my mom for the week. So so it's very strange. And so this, like, the bedroom that I'm in is like my family moved to this house. They moved to the other side of town when I was like a freshman in undergrad. And so this bedroom that I'm in is like, it still kind of feels like a high school bedroom while not literally my high school bedroom. And so I just want to say that, like, in my actual home, we don't have any like show posters or anything up. So it's so hilarious to me that there's a Be More Chill poster behind me, because that would only exist in a room that was not mine.
And Sky already called it. People
are on it. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like, this motel's awesome. There's a Be More Chill poster and my high school and college diplomas.
I know, like the Super 8 in Stuytown. Super 8 in Stuytown has really kicked it up a notch.
Yeah, it's no joke.
My gosh! So we're so excited to have you on
our first couple.
Yes.
Like this is the first time we're interviewing two people and you're a couple. So it's like nerve-wracking.
So it could go horribly wrong, and we're so excited.
I feel really good about it, actually.
Yes, you have something. You have a question?
Oh no, I was just gonna make like a dumb joke about how, like, I know that you really wanted both of us on the show because we said we were in two different locations, and it wasn't just because we're in the same household. You know what I mean? You ask one, you have to take the other, because you know there's putting them back. Like, but you let us come on anyway.
Oh my!
Well,
God.
I couldn't be happier.
So we before we go any further, Joe, we're gonna dig into some hard-hitting questions here, and you have something to answer for.
Ready for it.
So I'm gonna play the clip. Play the clip, okay? And then you're gonna let us know your thoughts.
Back. I'm having a drink.
Oh, I know.
Gonna be Joe Iconis and Lauren Marcus.
I love them so.
Joe Iconis and Lauren Marcus. So we're very, very excited that they're going to be with us next week.
Do you have anything to say to our next week's guests?
I do. I was waiting for a track to potentially perform for the song called Kevin, written by Joe Iconis, that George said he was going to do for me. And I'm still waiting.
I will. We'll pass along a message
next week.
You have been called out, Joe Iconis.
We will pass along a message.
Our first couple.
Did I send him a reminder? No, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
We got you.
So, Joe,
wow,
the receipts are on video.
I knew it. Okay.
So can you shed some light on what Mr. VC is discussing?
I absolutely can. Jason VC, who I love very much.
Yes.
I love him as a man and as a performer. As an artist, love him. He texted me probably 3 weeks ago, gave me tons of time. And he said that he was coming on the show, and he said that he wanted to perform the song I wrote called Kevin, which he has performed brilliantly before, and he needed a piano track. And I said to him that I would make him one. And he said, I'm going to let me pay you and do that whole thing. And I was like, absolutely not. I would not take your money. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make you this track. It's the least I could do. And then I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. And here is the thing, though. I realized
it's a pandemic.
I know, but I don't know. There's a lot going on. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And so I did realize this a few, like maybe a day before he was on the show. And I had that moment of like, oh, cool, Justin Bieber's going to be on. Oh no. And it came flooding back. And I was going to text him, but the reason I did it was because I convinced myself that, well, maybe he decided he didn't want to sing that song anymore, because he didn't send me a nudge, which is not, it shouldn't be his responsibility to send me a fucking nudge. I should nudge myself, but he didn't send the nudge. And so I was like, oh, maybe he moved on. I don't want to be like, hey, do you still want that track? But that was clearly just to make myself feel better. So I'm 100% in the wrong. I apologize to Jason VC. I owe him so much more than a piano track of Kevin. And it's just a great lesson to me in that I'm an asshole sometimes.
No, I feel like we need to save that clip and we will send that to Jason.
Do you want to comment on this comment that Sky Lisa said? Lauren just sitting here
I think that really what this emphasizes for all of us is the importance of the nudge, because I never send the nudge.
I never nudge.
I never nudge, and then what happens?
It's really hard for me to do.
I hate. I would rather die, and I feel like Joe is usually the one who's like, you gotta send this, you gotta ask. You always tell me to.
I always tell you to because I need a nudge, because I'm someone who it's like I don't, and that's my, and I'm trying to be better about that. Truly, I really am, and I'm okay. But it's like,
what do you think? What is that? What does that mean that we're not? Because it sounds like no one on here, none of us are nudgers.
I don't know, but I like a nudge, but also
I appreciate a nudge.
I do, but I've had Joe. I had a meltdown a couple weeks ago. I have a problem returning texts and emails, a problem. It's really bad. A problem. It's really bad, and I will often get a nudge, but also the nudge will come, and I will have not read the email or the text in the first place, which is a problem.
That's me.
So it opens with "as per my last email." I have to now search for the per.
It's so bad, and so. I started crying over this last week because I was I had so much guilt. And Joe was like, your one job isn't even to respond. You just must try to read it as it comes in. So when you get that nudge, you know what it's about.
Can I confess something?
Please.
Yes, please.
I would like you to guess how many emails I have in my inbox right now.
Tell me, we can do a little unread.
Just all, because if it's in there, it's just in there. It's just in there.
Hit me with it.
96,920 emails.
96,000
in the Heights.
I'm actually.
Wow.
I'm just gonna put my phone down. I was like, it's terrible. It's 172.
Yeah. No, you all ain't got nothing over me.
96,000.
That's stunning.
So this is what I do.
That's stunning.
Every couple of years, I will delete 5 years worth of emails. I'm like, okay, these emails from 2012 to 2017. I don't need them anymore. So I'll just delete them.
We need to unpack that someday. That's a healthy. We got to sit down and talk about that.
Wait, Tarzia, an inbox. What? Is that? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
96,000. Mm-hmm.
96,000. I
ain't ashamed of it. No. Say something.
This is all family here. It's all family. We're fine.
Yeah.
And perfect segue to the first question. I think we're ready to start for questions.
Oh, family. That's right.
Hello. I said perfect segue. The first question is, well, do you want to you ask it, James?
Well, no. So we have. So we're like, okay, we have these elaborate show meetings each week
really
where we're
do.
like, we trade off who's Barbara Walters and who's Diane Sawyer this week. No one really ever wins. So the words that came up were around family in particular, because there's this thing that you are both a part of, that you are, and that exists. There is a Joe Iconis family there, and then the two of you are this family unit, and it's this sort of an old school thing that we don't hear about that often anymore. It's I sort of equated it to like old school Hollywood with like people working for, you were contracted to a certain studio, so you were like, oh, she's a Warner girl, or like, oh, she's with MGM. And so you don't hear of like recent composers doing that as a thing. Seemed more like a maybe like 60s or 70s was the last time you would hear about this person only works with, or not only works with, but they're a part of that stable of folks. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that it's shocking to me that not many people do it. And so I wanted to know like where it kind of came from. It's like there's a loyalty thing there that I think is so cool. I equated it to like, I can name 15 people immediately off the top of my head who are members of the Joe Iconis family, but I can only name like 3 or 4 people that like an Andrew Lloyd Webber family. And 2 of them have lawsuits going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like to have, especially like to have a couple, to have a husband and wife who were like mom and dad of a family of like crazy, and it's not just
talented, ridiculously talented musicians and producers and actors,
it's across the board, and you have this bevy of folk.
So what is the family? Like what is the family?
And like why a family? Why does that speak to?
Yeah,
I think there's a collaboration thing and a loyalty thing in there that the two of you really do very well, that I just admire the fuck out of, and have just sat in a corner watching for years. Of like, oh, look at that. So, what is a family?
I mean, it's like a big brambly answer to that probably, but I mean, I can say that it's the whole thing, this whole idea of Iconis and family. It came, it happened very organically, and really the root of it was just when I first kind of got out into the world, the professional world of musical theater in like 2004 or 5 or whenever I graduated from grad school. I started making things, and I started doing concerts and doing these shows. I just I wanted to work with artists who I liked a lot. Which sounds so simple, but I came at it from a place of loving musical theater and passionately loving so many of the artists who I was seeing doing things. Not that I was necessarily friends with them, and so when I saw an actor who I loved, I would just ask that actor if they wanted to be in my stuff, and the more I did that, the more I found myself gravitating towards the same people, but it was the reason that I gravitated towards them is because I just really loved them as actors. And then the more that I did that, I just felt like it was a really good way to make art. And a lot of the artists who I loved and who I was really inspired by, and I'm inspired by a lot of film artists, but I love Robert Altman a lot, the movie director, and Robert Altman was kind of famous for having these, both on the screen and behind the scenes, these kind of collective of artists who we worked with all the time, and that just seemed like a really great way to make things to me. And I love that you said the thing about like the studio system that always just that felt so appealing to me, like these sort of like fostering collaborations over the course of years, and having your personal relationship with someone and your history with someone inform the work. It just felt like a cool thing. to me.
Well, also, I
You
mean,
know?
I think like you start to then write for people or towards groups of people, and
Or it's like it's a
that
dialogue.
can also help
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
the creation of stuff, right?
For sure. And the other thing with me that was sort of the initial impulse is that I am a writer who I write so that I can collaborate with people. I write so that I can get in a room with an actor and be like, what do you want to do with this thing?
Right.
Please give me all of your ideas, and let's wrap it around you and around what you bring to this role. And so I'm endlessly fascinated and charmed by and inspired by performers and actors, and really good performers and actors, and so with that, it's so exciting for me to write specifically for actors who I either know personally really well or know professionally really well, or just am a fan of, and so I think that's it. I don't think the whole family thing would work if I was a writer who was like, this is what I wrote and you will not change a word and it's going to sound exactly how it sounds in my head, and please just do it, because then there'd be no reason, because then the collaboration part is kind of like, it's just, it's for show or something. But I think, because I so love that, it just makes sense. And I think that loyalty actually is something to be valued, especially in a profession, like musical theater, in the world of musical theater that is so challenging. And it's especially challenging for people who, don't look or act or sound a certain way. And those are the types of people who I feel like I've always gravitated towards anyway. And so it just feels like people need, other humans to stick up for them when they can, and to fight for them. And and I like to cultivate that kind of environment.
So Lauren, how is it being married to the head of this family?
Well, it's funny because I actually am under contract. Keep renewing it because it's going pretty well.
I made it legal.
No, I mean, I love it. It's such it's such a funny thing, and wow, I've lost all my words. So we've known each other. Joe and I have known each other how many years? Maybe like 15, 16 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Did you guys meet at NYU?
We met at NYU.
Yeah.
And when I did a last minute reading for him, and we dated for about a year, and then we broke up for 3.5 years. And but what is, I think, so special is like we worked together that entire time, including the time like we broke up. And I always think about that part of it, sort of in terms of the family. And it's almost like more meaningful to me being here now because I was there when we were not together. And it was still like kind of this crazy thing. Sometimes you like go to a family gathering and it's like the people you don't necessarily like want to hang out, want to be there. And it's like Joe has so much love for the people he respects as artists that he kind of was willing to go do that like for 3 years, where maybe like we were still friendly, but we weren't like together.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't even know what the hell I'm saying, you guys. I'm sorry, I've lost the plot.
No.
It's all good. I mean, because people are. So I'm just going to show some of the comments. Something about the way y'all are to family in this really, the mafia. Y'all are killing me. What is this one? Joe is the ideal writer where he really gets with the people he works with, and we need that. Oh, this is a lovely thing.
We do.
Joe, I don't know if you know this, but you got me to keep writing at a time when I was ready to give up. Eternally grateful. And then there was some lovely things about, is it a family or is it a cult? People were having a big discussion in the.
Isn't everything we do a little cultish anyway?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm sorry. I've been giving the world's worst answer, but it's like I don't really think of it. It's just like this is our life together. I don't think of it as this weird thing that I think maybe some other people think of it. It doesn't feel like that. It is our life, and our lifestyle, and it doesn't feel like some weird group. It's just the people we work with and love.
Yeah.
Honestly,
honestly, it seems to. I get it. Like it seems very simple, and it
do
is simple.
Like,
Exactly.
you guys do too.
But I think it's
And it's
wonderful
so very
that
simple.
you have this collection of people that, like, Joe, you can write something at 3 a.m. and go, hey, Charlie, can you do this?
That's a
or
special
hey,
thing.
Jason, can you sing this? I think that it's just it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I meant to get a video of this to set up the second question. But I'll ask this because I'm segueing from our 5
this
questions.
ties in.
Yeah, but you all made your Broadway debut together. Am I correct with that? Yeah, which is absolutely fantastic. And the thing that I love about the family was that you brought so many people from the family with you to Broadway. And there's something about that loyalty, which you mentioned, that also has, for want of a better word, this little bit of defiance in it, right? Like, you're kind of like, if I'm going to go to Broadway, I'm going to go to Broadway my way.
My way.
Right? And
Which I
one
love.
of my favorite things, and it's going to sound strange that it's one of my favorite things, but it was when you all sang the goodbye song on your closing night of Be More Chill. There's something so... It was like a release, a catharsis, but there was something so defiant. And the thing that I loved about it was, like, if I'm closing a show on Broadway, we're going to close the show how we close a show, right? And so there's something about that loyalty and defiance. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to bring my people. I'm going to do it with my people.
Well,
I don't know that I have a question around it, but can you speak?
No. This is what I think. When we were talking about this earlier this week, it seems, as the viewers of that and this process, that's like, oh, that's super defiant. Like, it seems like, hey, if Broadway says we want you to come do this, you're like, I'm going to come do this my way. And we're like, that's super fucking cool. Yeah. And then Broadway's like, okay, well, we're closing. And you're like, okay, fine. If we're going to close, we're going to do it my way.
Okay.
And it's so beautiful to me. It's so, I guess the word that some could use is defiant, because it's not what the system usually does. But I don't think you would view any of it as defiant. It's just like, this is how I create. This is how we collaborate. This is what we do.
So can you find a question through all of that?
I could, yeah.
It was some people could view it as defiant. So is it?
No, it is not. It is truly not. And I actually love that. I love that you're talking about it, because for the first, I feel like the first, 5 or whatever years of my career, people would talk about the things I was doing as defiance, or as this idea of like, oh, it's this guy like working with his friends, like his college buddies or something, and they're just like, fuck you to, the way that we do things. And it's been really nice and encouraging to see people actually respond to this whole idea of working with a family of artists who you believe in. And so I think that the only reason that I think it feels defiant is because it's, as you said, it's like it's not what the system normally allows. It's not, and it's not what we're used to. And so when we see a musical that's like not a corporate thing, that's not based on a movie, and that it isn't populated with famous people, we're just like, what the fuck is this? Like it feels like something totally different.
Does it inform, or does any of that inform how you both write? Because again, I'm just been over here in the corner watching. I was saying, like,
I thought he had a really important point.
Show. I went to see a Lauren Marcus show at Joe's Pub once, just by myself, and I was like,
"Did you?
Okay, like that's yes. I didn't even know you yet. I did not know you. So there's a thing that informs this, like, amazing individuality in the way you write, in the way you perform, in the way you present your stuff. And I think someone could use the word defiant, and I'm like, no, that's not it. But it's like, it's so beautiful and cool to watch. Someone Morgan said it's just true, and it's literally just, it's the truth that comes out of you. So I don't know, does any of that inform how you create your stuff?
It's funny because the one thing I can really track as we keep going and as I get older, like for sure I wanted to come out of college and be like a superstar on Broadway. Like, of course I did. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna happen. It didn't happen how I wanted. But I really am able now to be like, thank God, because it's like with every year that goes by where the thing's not happening that I want to happen, it's like I become more comfortable with who I am and what I want to do. And it really does become like, well, who cares? Like if this thing isn't going to happen, this whatever I think is supposed to happen anyway, then I'm just going to do what I want to do. And it isn't like, really, I'm not thinking about being defiant, but it is kind of in reaction to not fitting whatever mold does kind of go down that track. You know what I mean? And I feel like my writing, I get sure about my sense of self and what I want to say, because I sort of kind of just care a little bit less each year with the dream that I thought I wanted. I like really kind of disillusioned with it. And so I don't really feel the need anymore. I feel the need less and less to be what I think I'm supposed to be. Part of it's still in me. I'm not sure if part of it's ever going to go away, to be totally honest.
Sure.
But like, I just kind of care a little bit less and less. And then because of that, I just keep finding more and more freedom to do what I want to do.
So L. Morgan says this: we're in a business where people are trying so hard to feel truth is always singular. I'm so curious, Lauren. We're going off the 5 questions. We've quickly gone on to 5 questions. But is there? Have you defined a new dream, or has the dream expanded, or like are you dreaming a new dream, or are you?
I mean, I didn't even when I was leaving college, I didn't even write. That wasn't something that I that was like on my radar. I kind of did it in private. But I mean, yeah. And so I started like writing in earnest and performing my music probably about 9 or 10 years ago because of Joe. Joe was the one who was like, "You should do this. Why aren't you doing this?" And the answer was, "I'm scared." That was the only. I didn't think I could. I didn't think I was good enough. And he was so.
How do you shake that?
You get a Joe Iconis in your life. You get a Joe Iconis in your life. But you just gotta push through. I don't know, Joe. Like
you do it scared. You do it anyway. Yeah, right.
You kind of become addicted to the scared part of it. Yeah, like, kind of being like, how much further can I go this time?
Is it ever going to go away? I think that's always going to be a little bit of an element of it.
It's
going to be a little sceriness.
I had a friend who read me the Riot Act, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And she said to me, "You're never going to grow as an artist until you're in rooms with people who are better than you, and you're in rooms with people who scare the shit out of you." And that was so true, because like I had been the king of the 50-seat theater below 14th Street. Like I ruled it. But she was like, that's not sustainable. And unless you find yourself in rooms where you are intimidated and are scared, you're never going to grow. And it was like, I needed it. Like I heard it at the right time when I needed to hear that. So yeah.
I love that. And it's hard to hear, because when you hear that, what you hear is, "Oh my God, I'm going to be in a room and I'm not going to be as good as the other people there," which is awful. Like, it's like your ego talking, but that's what you hear. Yeah. But like, Or like, you're going to get better if you keep doing it, which then all I hear is like, oh God, it's not going to be good for like.
No, for a very long time. Oh my gosh. So, all right. The next question is about, and I kind of love this.
It's about collaboration.
About collaboration. And James had is this the one where you had that thing?
Well, yeah, because it's not just collaboration with but it's collaboration because you are both creators of things, but you are also a couple. You are a two. You are husband and wife. So like, are there benefits to that as being when you're collaborating? Are there conflicts? Like what works and what doesn't? I've never been in a relationship with another performer or like creator of like theater stuff. So like, I don't know what that's like.
And we know that it can be like pinpoint focus. And James had this thing.
Right. I know like if I'm creating something and I'm literally in this laser focused thing, working on the same 4 words in one sentence for like 20 hours. Yeah, literally. And I can not even realize that Tom is there or that the dog walked by. And I'm like, oh shit. And so the thing that we laughed at was, is there this moment of, can you put down that fucking script and come over here and marry me? Like, is there a moment where it's like, hey, dude, there's another thing that we do here too. Like, so how does being a couple inform collaboration?
You go. You want me to go? You go. I'm curious.
I want either one of you.
I want both of you to go at the same time.
We're collaborating
in harmony.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's hard. Well, it's 2 different things. It's like literally working together. So working on the same project together, which is something that we've done many times, and something that I think so informs at least my perspective of our relationship is, I think an important part about how we met was that I saw Lauren for the first time on stage. I saw her as Mary Flynn in Merrily We Roll Along at NYU. And so I was completely blown away / smitten with her as an actress before I ever even knew her as a person, So it's like, so for me, that will never, I'm like, she's my favorite person in the whole world. I could not love her more as a human. But as an artist, I will never not have encountered her as an artist first and as an actress first. Right. And so like, no matter what happens, like, she's like one of my favorite actresses who ever lived. Like she is an actress who I am a fan of. And so when we're working together, of course we're, it's like, oh, of course, like, oh, this is my wife who I'm either writing something with or performing in something with, or have written something that she is writing. But before that, she's just always an artist to me. She's always an artist who I feel like I'm a fan of. And so the literally working on something thing, that part feels like not easy to me, but that's never been like the actual like collaboration, like in the room and that kind of shit. That's never been rough for me. Has it been for you, Marcus?
No. I think we work really, really only when we were broken up and in the same room together. And like, I think we did a really good job of making that work. That was the only time it was actually difficult because there were emotions happening. But even then, it's like, I think we're both good at getting in a room and just looking at the work. I mean, what's so funny is people who don't know us, when they're in a room with us, when 90% of people know we're married, a lot of times people won't know until several rehearsals in that we are wed.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because of course I'll interact with him, but it would be very weird to me to be going over and like, baby, sometimes over lunch break, if I'm in a show he's writing and he's writing, I'll be like, do you want me to get you lunch? I'll get you salad. I don't want to, it's just too weird. I don't like to like come over and touch you. That feels very strange to me in a professional.
Yeah, agree. One of my favorite things that ever happened was that, so like obviously everything that I do, I'm invariably working with a bunch of people who I know or who know me, and then a bunch of people who I do not know at all. And so I sometimes forget that like not everyone in the room like knows me personally. And so Lauren and I, a few years ago, we did a reading of this musical Love and Hate Nation that I wrote. And at that reading, the lead was played by this amazing actor. Her name is Destiny Ray. She's very incredible. If you don't know her, you should like check her out. She's unbelievable. But so she, this was the first thing we ever did together. She was sort of like cast, like, you know, kind of blind and came into the process. And I remember like she was with us for 2 days. And then on like the third day, I was working on something with Destiny, and like Lauren came into the room we were working in, and Lauren was like, I'm gonna get out of here. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I just like put my arm around her and just like kissed her. It wasn't like a gross kiss, but you know, it was like a casual bye kiss. And Destiny Ray's face was just like,
why is
it was the most like, oh, is that how this is with this guy? Because that's not cool. It was so amazing. Yeah. So like we just don't, we don't put that out there at the top.
And so I guess there is like I mean, because you're both in the same process, so there's like a respect for each other's process when like you see someone who's like pinpoint focused and you're like, all right.
Yeah, we're good at like, I think we're very good at home too. Like if one of us has to do work, like we're good. We understand that. We understand when someone has to leave town. Like that stuff doesn't bother us. And it's like also I think what's so nice is because we both understand it for each other, we don't ever worry. Like I never worry to go oh my God. I mean, not like I've been on a tour away for a year. I wouldn't ever worry if that is something I wanted to do, because we have that in our relationship, which is nice. And I know isn't always the case, because it is. It's really, it's a difficult business to be in.
It's a difficult business, so there's so many comments, and we're having a lot of people from YouTube today, which is so exciting. People love and Hate Nation. They said we need a cast album. And Sky is like, imagine Lauren just fully ignoring Joe. Just fully. And also, I love how they just casually talk about their work while we're broken up. Have you written a show about that time? Because I think there's a show there.
No.
You're like,
we don't. No, I don't
some
think
things
so.
we don't mind for shows.
No. I think we're probably good. We're probably good for now without that one. Though I do sometimes like tell a story. I was doing right after we broke up, I was doing the Plant That Ate Dirty Socks, Joe's show at Theater Works, and I was playing an evil cheerleader. And so sometimes I will do an impression of myself, which would be like on stage, like 2, 4, 6, 8, and running off into the wings, like.
Oh my god!
It was bad.
No, but it had to happen. It had to happen.
It did.
We had to grow up.
Oh yeah. All right, so I am going to wade into some murky water here.
Yeah.
So it's really a question for Lauren. But what was your process? I'm setting this question up of what was your process of stepping into Bravery? And for me, this is all about your time when all of your hair fell out.
Okay.
And you stepped into what I thought was something so courageous. How you kind of redefined yourself, you reimagined yourself, and you didn't shy away from it. And I thought it was so powerful because I'm sure it must have been challenging. I'm sure there must have been like painful moments with it, but you kind of stepped into this bravery and openness around it, and so I'm curious about that process for you of having to accept this thing and then stepping into something brave and courageous to like move on with it and address it.
In a way also that was not in any way. I hate when people are like, hashtag she's so brave.
Oh,
Because the people that do that are actually, guess what? Not brave. But there's this way that, again, me over here in the corner watching, being like, what's Lauren Marcus doing? And the way that it was that you handled that was so not vain.
Yeah.
It was so in an industry that would look at what is happening to themselves as like, oh my God, what is happening to me? But the way that it was handled by you, I thought it's the most beautiful sharing that I needed to see. So it's just beautiful, and the sharing of it was.
Thank you. I have a lot to say on that. What I will say is like, flash forward 3.5, 4 years. Like, what's funny is now I understand how I handled it, but now I feel like I've handled a lot of things maybe not in the best way, and I've also changed so much about how it helped me. It helped me learn a lot. But at that time, honestly, I was so open with it because it happened so quickly. I didn't really have much more time to come up with any other game plan. I knew I probably couldn't keep the jig up of wearing a wig all the time. I knew it. Like, and so I was like, so people are going to see me and I don't want them to think I'm sick. And the only thing I could think that could possibly be good at the time about talking about it so much would be maybe helping somebody else, because I had the only thing that helped me the teensiest bit was seeing other random people on the internet who had dealt with. I'd never seen another actor deal with it. I had no blueprint. Like I didn't know.
Right.
So I just tried to be very honest about it. But also what's so funny is on social media, you're still probably only going to be seeing like the good, honest moments, which is something I'm realizing now also about that. So I feel like a lot of what I was putting forward was me when I was at my best, which happened maybe 10 minutes every month.
Right.
The rest of it, I was a complete disaster. It was horrible.
It probably helped the thing. The complete disaster probably helped you at least get to the 10 minutes, and the 10 minutes probably helped you recharge the complete disaster.
I think so.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. I am a person who says too much always anyway. And I mean, I don't really know how to be other than how to be comfortable other than to say how I'm feeling at that particular moment.
Then I have to, then in the spirit of that, I have to tell you that I love that. I just love watching you do that, because that's something that's very difficult for me to do. It's just like to say what I need, or say like, so watching anyone able to share, it was just beautiful to watch, and it is beautiful to watch. And I've loved watching it inform how you create, or even if it's not informing it, just like, again, over here in the corner, the audience member is like, God, I thank you. I thank you.
I appreciate that. It's just so funny. I haven't really thought about this. This might be a new thing, but like all I can feel sometimes now is like, I wish I'd maybe handled it differently, or I wish I hadn't been. I really feel
Why
like,
so? Why do you think?
I don't know. I guess now I'm in this phase where I feel like sometimes it's like
you know,
I didn't have enough empathy for other people. It's weird. It taught me empathy. It has taught me empathy in such a huge way. Yeah. And I feel, I don't know, Joe, you jump in. You know more than like you can
the thing that I'm kind of like hearing is that, you know, it's that Oprah thing, when you know better, you do better, right? So at the time when you were going through it, you did the best and you handled it the best that you knew how to handle it. You were ready to handle it in that way. Now with some miles behind you from it, you would handle it differently, but you couldn't at that time because you weren't ready to handle it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know how I could have viewed the situation differently at the time. It was just so unexpected. It's the weirdest thing. It's literally like, I remember at one point a few months and I looked at Joe, and it was the first time like I ever laughed about it, but it was like 3/4 of my hair was gone. And I was like, what is going on? What the hell is happening? Like, how is this happening? No one had any answers. There is no, it's very, very under-researched. Yeah.
Well, Joe, do you have any thoughts on your brave, courageous wife and going through this
what was
strange
that
time?
like? Watching and being that you step into supportive husband role. What was that?
It doesn't feel brave for me. That's what I'm gonna say. It doesn't feel brave for me. It almost feels maybe selfish, and that's what I'm struggling with.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Joe can go.
I mean, it was, it was and continues to be it's awful to see people you love upset in any way, and it's awful to see people you love struggling with something that can't be fixed in an easy way. And it was, and like, and you both know, we're like in this business that is so hard, and our lives are so unreliable. And at the time when Lauren's hair started falling out, and before she knew that, oh, I have alopecia and like all this, the stuff that's sort of come in the last few years, it was this time of like she had done a few gigs. It was like the first time she had like worked in a while. Like she had like hit this nuts place in her career. So it was like gig. And it felt like, oh, things are like finally happening a little bit. And like as soon as it felt like that in the house, it was like a household thing. Like it was like, okay, there's some like momentum. Finally, after so many years of trying to do this thing, it was like, oh, and now all of her hair fell out for no reason. Like for no reason. Out of the blue. And so it was just such a strange thing. But it was honestly, it was so amazing to watch her, handle it in the way that she did, which is not the thing of like, like she took it like a trooper, or she immediately started a foundation for, whatever.
Right.
It was like,
here's the good, here's the bad, here's the ugly, here's everything.
Yes, and like I could see in a way that I understand that she still is like, talks about selfishness or whatever. But I, as someone who has witnessed all of this, I could see how her willingness to let herself be vulnerable, and her willingness to just let herself be truthful in a public way, in a business and in a world that does not value that, in a world that does not embrace people who are sloppy and contradictory and that is not a sexy thing. And in musical theater, it is certainly not a sexy thing to not have a type. And here's it's like doing this, like she's as someone who already like in the world of musical theater was not necessarily a type, she was allowing herself to be honest about like, oh, today I have like a little bit of hair, today I have no hair, today I'm wearing this wig, today I'm not wearing a wig because I don't like wigs. Like that, the sort of messiness and honesty of that was something that I thought that to me was like it was beyond brave and beyond courageous. It was just badass. And it's like that's like and like, and that is the shit that's inspiring. And I got to see how inspiring it was to other human beings who were having similar experiences, be it alopecia or be it whatever. I saw so many people that respond to the way that Lauren Marcus was putting this out there, and it helped them. And the thing that was so horrible for hers, at the top, was that it's like so few people do that, and she had so few people to look to who were publicly saying, this is what's going on with me, and it's messy, and this is how I'm dealing with it. And so to see her give that to other people was and continues to be like the most amazing thing.
Oh, truly. Lauren, I hope we didn't upset you too much with this question. It was, but your humanity, I think that's what we're getting at is that, maybe it might not feel brave or but like you allowed yourself to be human and vulnerable. And I thought that was so beautiful.
That. And I'm writing a whole show about it right now, about the whole experience. But I also just think it's like the one thing it's really taught me is that you never, ever know how something feels to another person, ever. and this is something like
anything.
I had anything
at all. Yeah.
anything. And I had to learn this the hard way too. Like I will look at things and make snap judgments of people. I went through a whole thing where I would like I would judge other people whose like hair loss wasn't as bad as mine, and then I like, what do they know? I'm mortified that I did that. Mortified, like however many years out, because if you cannot possibly know what someone is feeling, period. Yeah. And I think that I just had it shown to me time and time again, because so much of what I got back over and over and over was, we don't have cancer, so wig. Wow. So and people really, like, some nicely, because they're trying to make me feel better, minimized it over and over. And when I say it rocked every aspect of my life, I never would have thought that losing my hair would have affected some of the things it does and still continues to affect. Like, this is the first wig I've ever had that I like, and I got it 2 months ago. Ever. Like, ever. That, like, feels like me. And, like, you know, I'm 3 or 4 years out at that.
Right.
So I think that is the number one thing, and it's still something that is evolving. So I think that is why it's so hard for me sometimes to think about it as a brave thing, because it's like it teaches me things that show me.
If the argument is brave and selfish, brave or selfish, I will me in the corner in the audience. Not one moment of it has been selfish. I've never seen selfish.
And you know what?
It's the furthest word that would ever come to mind, and it's just beautiful and brave, and it's badass. It's all the B words. Give me every B word I can find.
People all need to take that. It's like crazy though, because it's what I needed to heal a little bit. And it's like what I needed to heal was to be completely open about it. And so maybe that's something that hopefully other people can hear. And it's like, secrets are bad. Secrets are
bad. Secret and shame is bad. It's true across the board. But you know what? It's also like, fuck an or. I'm all about an and so it can be brave and selfish. Both things can exist.
I like that.
Things, right? Yeah. Like fuck an or. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like it can be an and. Right? Like, and I appreciate people who walk with both, because we have duality, right? Like, so, fuck an or. It was brave and it was selfish and human and wonderful.
That I can kind of get behind. Actually,
so every week there's something that goes on a pillow if we had merchandise. So I think this week it's fucking or.
Fucking or.
So I'll just say, you know, David Stoller, we're looking for ways to get through the day and move forward. Your artistry is a tremendous portal to feeling connecting. The way you live your life can be an example for an individual to find personal clarity. I think that's wonderful. And my friend Chris Strong always says, you never know what it's like to live in anyone's head, so be kind.
I love that.
I love what you put in for this next question. I was just reading.
I know you saw that I put that in.
So because I've been lounging on my ass in Woodstock for the last couple days, I was only able to communicate via spotty Wi-Fi and a Google Drive document. So I read this and I was like, "Oh, that's a good question."
You want me to read it? Well, the two of you make wonderful music. I was going to go to the old standby, who inspires you? But I'm very curious. I'm very curious about this. The two of you make wonderful music. Specifically for me right now, Stevie Wonder's I Love Every Little Thing About You. He has a song called I Love Every Little Thing About You. And it makes me feel absolute and complete joy. It's been on repeat in my life right now. Ooh. So I'm curious, what music brings you complete and utter joy? And what about it? You know,
but I want an individual answer and a couple answer.
Yeah.
There's music that, so Tom and I can listen to the same, can like dissect the same Indigo Girls moment or Ann Wilson moment or like and over and over and over. So, and someone else would be like, turn it the fuck off. I've had enough. So,
But-
what is the music? Listening and like, so doing the deep dives on you, there's a song that I can't remember the name of that you sang, Lauren, of Joe's, that I was like, I hear all of the Court and Spark. There was this like Joni Mitchell moment that was in there that I was like, what?
Of Joe's?
Oh, I hear it. Of Joe's, but you were singing it. And I was like, oh, I can't even, it was Adore. It was Adore.
It was Adore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adore. And I was like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
straight up Joni Mitchell. And I'm like, are you sitting there talking about Joni Mitchell? Like, what happened? So like, what is the music that is your go-to for joy?
For joy, because it's spring. Spring is kind of trying to come through. So I want
Mind
joy.
you, it snowed. It might still be snowing in Woodstock, but
Right.
still, it's spring.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Do you have a good answer? Lauren Marcus?
I guess I just feel like I talk for an hour. But I mean, like pure joy.
Mhm.
It's the oldies. It's 50s girl groups. It's
I hear that.
One
in
Fine
you.
Day. That is like my pure joy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess if I had to just pick like one genre.
What is it about like
interesting.
girl groups and stuff that
Oh.
like
God, is there anything cooler? Is there
Nope.
anything
That's it.
cooler?
No,
Is there?
no.
Literally no. Like
And
you
like
can
pick
tell me
apart all like the top, the middle, the bottom, all of them.
it's so
all of them.
cool. The rhythm, the harmony. I love a good melody. I love a good repetitive melody. There is nothing cooler or more fun to me
Yep.
than that.
The oohs and the ahs.
Yeah, the oohs and the ahs. That's my individual answer, Joe.
Okay.
That is a great answer. And I just want to say, I also share the love of girl groups. And I think there's something about what I'm so obsessed with all of the 60s girl groups. I'm so obsessed with like this idea of music that plays with like a lightness and a darkness, and in so many of those the girl group stuff, like something like like Leader of the Pack. I'm so obsessed with it being, it sounds like sugary, like it sounds like it's like a bonbon or something, like the sort of like the classic kind of like girlishness of the music, but then there's something also about the delivery that's so like blunt. And so it has like a very sort of like punk rock spirit, even though punk rock didn't really exist when it didn't exist. When those things are happening, it's just like this strange like dichotomy of like cute and just like blunt brute force in music. I love that style so much. But yeah, oh my goodness, I love Dolly Parton a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a big Dolly Parton fan.
Tom got me a book of all of her. It's like all of her lyrics and like stories about her writing, whatever. He got it for me for Christmas, birthday. What was the most recent
Holiday?
thing?
Yeah.
For holiday. He got it for me for
a holiday.
holiday. It's so good, and you get caught up in just like 2 pages of it, and you're like, okay, I need to now listen to every version of this.
She's so amazingly kind too, that woman.
Yeah.
You know what it is? She even said please to Jolene. She said, please don't take my man. And I always loved that. The fact that, because I would want to go like beat this bitch's ass.
Yeah.
But she actually was polite enough to say, she said please to Jolene. And
Please, Jolene.
that's a whore's name. And she said please to Jolene. To me, I'm like, Dolly's somebody special.
She is. But I mean, even like I'm very obsessed with Dolly Parton. But even Jolene specifically, that's another song where it's like, yeah, she's saying please. It's this pleading song, but there's like there's balls to it. It's not like it's not a folky like, oh, I want my man back. It's not even that. It's not even like oh, my man left me and I'm so sad. Nope. It's like she's going to this woman and she's like, I'm begging you, don't take this guy. please. And it's just so, there's just nothing like that, especially at the time when that shit was written. You know, it was either the country, you know, the sort of country music female prototype when Dolly Parton was writing that shit. It was either like, you know, oh yeah, my man left me and I'm so sad, or it was like Loretta Lynn, like I'm gonna put a fucking axe in your head. You know, that was the other part. Yeah, and so it's like this weird background that I think is so complex and really just exciting.
It's a really
but
beautiful.
I also kind of hear that in your music. You know what I mean, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Like even something like Adore, because all of a sudden it has this defiant thing that comes in at the end, and like, you know, like I was saying, it makes me shoulder dance. Like there's something about there's something about your like parts of your music that make me want to bite my bottom lip and just like shoulder dance. Yeah,
I think it's about the or the and. I think you're right. I think the and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
we should have a little bit of both.
So I think this should be
Stephen Brad. I want that actually on a T-shirt.
That should be a pillow.
That's a horse.
That's a horse name.
Put that on a pillow.
Oh my God.
Christine said, please to Jolene. Lauren, please.
I just have to say, it's funny when you're talking about like you have bite your lip and dance. Like I oftentimes like to act out songs to myself. I've done this since I was little. Like I'll look in the mirror. It's a whole thing. And one of my most recent truly embarrassing moments that like truly I was not trying to make this happen is I just started listening to some of Joe's music, and I was listening to the song Ammonia, and I was full on acting it out in our kitchen with headphones in, acting the whole thing out, and he came in, and I didn't even know I did not think. Do you remember that?
I do. It was great. Huge fan.
Mortified.
Would recommend.
I do that with like the last 5 years. I do that with like Sondheim. Like just
I've done that since I was like 5.
Oh, me too. Did you do it to the point where you would make yourself cry? I call those my first accolade.
The audition scene at the end of Flashdance, where she's like goes to the ballet school and she does the number with like the dive somersault.
Yeah,
I did that in a black tank top and black underwear, and I did the dive off of the coffee table. And like I thought that I had like tucked into a somersault. No. Landed on the stereo system, like in the entertainment center, and like broke everything. It was terrible. It was terrible.
But you had the passion inside of you.
I had the passion.
Yeah. Just make me want to go.
Sky wanted to ask this question. I want to know if you like the group the Crane Wives. Seems like her kind of music.
I don't know them. I'll check them out. But Joe knows honestly everything. Like I feel like you know so much about music, and he also like knows. You know the Crane Wives?
I don't know. I don't know the Crane Wives. See, I don't know. I know everything except who the fuck the Crane Wives are.
Okay.
Yeah,
they sound cool.
Check that out.
I like
Jason Beasley's coming in at the end.
Jason Beasley's coming for me.
We got a video for you, Jason Beasley. Okay. Everything is fine.
That was funny.
Wow.
So wait, I think those were our 5 questions.
Those were
our 5.
Yeah.
So now
they sort of just like weave in.
I know they do. I know.
And so elegantly done.
We spent some time.
I was Diane Sawyer this week.
Those are great.
In my head. But we have our quick 5 now, which is a fun little game.
Quick
love to play.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because we've never done this with a couple. So
should we establish an order, or should we just go?
I think I want both of you to answer. You know.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's true. Yeah. There's no I in teamwork.
Yeah.
So we're just going to ask a thing, and it's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And I think they all are a little self-explanatory. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
Lauren Marcus, Joe Iconis. It's time for quick 5. Are you ready? Are you prepared?
Do.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, we're ready.
Toni Collette returns to Broadway in what musical?
Cabaret. Duh.
Oh, that was quick, Joe.
Yeah.
What about you, Lauren?
I'm not good with quick. Maybe
I can-
Stop
I
would
can
be
guess
fun.
her-
Can
I
we
can
do
guess her again.
Off-Broadway? What?
Yeah,
It could be off-Broadway.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
put her in Little Shop when it opens back up. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be.
Yes.
Both
I
are
would
great
love that.
answers.
Those are both great. Okay, number 2, Audra McDonald, Dream Role.
Recently I was like, why isn't she in Music Man?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean,
why
maybe
is
she doesn't want to work for somebody else again. Maybe it's in there,
I don't know
and they're
if that's
done that.
role, though. That was just a recent. I can think of better.
That's still good. I would like to see
good
that.
though. Yeah.
Mr. Iconis.
Yeah, it's very hard. I'm going through so many. Oh man. Oh god. Oh god.
Would you like to see her in any of your shows, Joe Iconis?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I want to write something for Audra McDonald. Like that's what I.
You know what? Actually, I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that
That's
too.
what I want to say.
Oh god.
I think that's valid.
I would kill. I mean, obviously, I saw Audra McDonald in Carousel. I was very young. Yeah, I was in.
Jealous.
Yeah. I was in probably like middle school or something. Yeah. I did. Please, the fucking best. Marie Christine, the greatest.
I'm obsessed with Marie Christine.
It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. Oh my god, the greatest. I would. Maybe the thing that's nagging at me is the life. I want to see her in the life. I know it's like.
No, I'm happy with
great.
that. I would love that.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think the vocal shit would be stunning. I think like really like I love Pamela Isaacs a lot, but I think that I think she would be killer in that role. And also it's just and the life has like such a fun seediness to it that I think is not normally associated with her. So I'm gonna say the life.
Yeah, that would be
the life.
That would be good. All right, but David Stoller, I'm spitting some Bard tomorrow for Ginkgo Company. David Stoller invited me to come spit some Bard. So check out Gingold Theater Company website and hear me.
Well, what a piece of work is you.
I tell you, see that Obie Award and that Lotel Award.
That killed me.
Your award museum.
I had to bring a special bag. It's snowing.
Wait, why is it with you? Did I miss that? I saw that.
Well, so when he moved in, he had just gotten into the new apartment, and during our show meeting, he was like, he stopped the meeting, and he's like, "I have a very serious question to ask you." And I was like, "Oh fuck, what?" I was like, "He can't do the show. Something's happening. What's going on?" And he's like, "Where are you hanging your Obie Award?"
And how are you hanging it?
Right. And then I was like, well, shit, where'd you put your Lucille Lortel Award? And then I was like, wait a minute, could we talk about this on the show, or is that really, really vain?
Yes, you can.
It's
like,
ratchet,
yes, we can.
and I love it. All right. Oh, wait, is it me asking, or is it? No,
it's you.
Me.
Go.
It's me. Mandy Patinkin. Yes, no, or maybe?
Yes. Yes, and I want to say that my first show ever, his nephew, Adam Patinkin, played my father, but I didn't know who Mandy was when I was 11. So now I like to tell this story. But he's crazy in a great way.
Okay.
Yes.
Joe, Mandy Patinkin, yes, no, or maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Big Wild Party fan. Yeah.
He's
number 4. Your cell phone goes off during a Patti LuPone performance. Where do you hide?
You gotta roll on out. Like literally stop and roll out of there.
It's like
if my
happened because I think
if my cell phone went off during a Patti LuPone performance, I would 100% offer myself up for sacrifice. I wouldn't try to hide. I would, because I had it coming. I deserve it. Like, give it to me. I have no patience for that. I am so excited to get back in a theater with a whole group of people, so that someone's stupid fucking cell phone can go off, and I can get angry at them.
I just want it.
Yeah, and someone can be like, "Oh, aren't you just happy that we're all together?" I'll be like, "No, it's disgusting. That person deserves to be sent away and never should come back to the theater." I hate that. I fucking hate it.
Oh my gosh!
I feel like when that happened, we were both like, and people were like, "Oh, can you believe like she stopped the show?" And we were like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, like that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So now we're gonna play our new favorite game. It's called
Question number 5 is a game within a game.
It's a game within a game.
Ooh.
It's called Pick a Pair of Patties.
Pick a pair of patties.
The patties.
They all involve a scenario.
Right. And so the trio of patties that you have to choose from today are Patti LuPone, Patti LaBelle, and Patti Murin. So here's the scenario.
I didn't see that you added Patti Murin, and thank you for that.
You need to do a bank robbery, and you're picking a heavy and a getaway driver. Pick a pair of patties for your team. Who's the heavy and who's the getaway driver? Patti LuPone, Patti LaBelle, and Patti Murin. Lauren's face.
Well, I know. Okay. I feel like it's going to be the first two, but I'm trying to decide what position I'm putting them in.
Okay. Patti Murin's out. She got cut from the team.
She got cut.
I'm with you.
I'm with you. She got cut.
Yeah. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. My man,
What
do
about
you have any thoughts
What
on
about you, Joe?
where
I think.
you put them?
Yeah, I think that I would go Patti Murin, the heavy.
For the heavy.
Ooh.
Because you wouldn't suspect. I feel like she's spent years maybe trapped in the people's idea of her, and she's not been able to let her lunatic bank robber criminal true self out.
I think he's
Her criminal true self out.
Here's the thing: if you're a teller at a bank, like first of all, things have gone horribly wrong. If you're a teller at a bank, so there you are, you're working your shift at the bank, you're like counting out rolls of quarters, and Patti LuPone walks in.
You're suspicious. You're right.
You're suspicious. Now, even worse, Patti LaBelle strolls in. Patti LaBelle walks in, you're like, fuck this. I'm out. But Patti Murin rolls up in that bit.
It's a normal day.
It's like, what do you want? You need something, Miss Murin?
So then, Joe Iconis, who's the getaway driver? Oh, what happened?
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, how did that happen?
I blame Patti Murin.
Yeah, Patti Murin. Oh my gosh, yeah, the ghost of Patti Murin. Patti LaBelle, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Is she singing high notes as she's driving away?
Yeah, that was implied.
Obviously.
Patti LaBelle, yeah.
That is.
Just
That
singing,
makes
singing
total
a,
sense.
singing a medley of like car songs, you know? I know it's not hers, but like singing Freeway and singing
And like throwing shoes at people.
I drove all night.
Yeah, just one
Well, that
hand
would be-
seriously driving. Yeah.
I think it totally makes sense. I almost threw out Patti Murin.
I know. I threw her out too hastily. I guess I was in it for the entertainment of the robbery, but that's not. We're trying to get away with something.
We want the money.
But also,
Right.
also entertaining because it's the like she goes up to the teller and it's like all sweet and it's all
Right.
good.
Right.
And then there's
I
a
would
turn.
like.
Yeah. Then there's a turn and it's like you're gonna put all that money in a bag. I'm gonna kill your kid.
Oh
At home.
I think she has that in her.
That's what she would
actually.
do.
I think it's in her.
Oh
Yes,
my
I know.
God.
Yeah.
That got dark real fast, Joe Iconis. I'm going to kill your kid.
I'm gonna kill. Yeah, that's the whole scenario. That should be. Yeah, she'd be like Colin Donald has your kid, and he's gonna kill her unless you put $10,000 in this sack, so I can go with Patti LaBelle to get out of
And
here.
it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my God! Please, next season.
Because you
Atlantic
can't
Theater
spend the
Company.
First of all, you can't trust Lapone. You can't trust Lapone.
You can't trust him. Why was that our first instinct, though? We were in a big entertainment.
But I think she set it up that way that we all think. We all think she's obviously Patti LuPone.
Well, Carl St. Lucie said, I feel like Patti as a driver would just bring it out of there before.
She's gone.
She's looking out for number one.
But she'd still somehow get the money.
Oh my God.
Yes, do it. Yes.
That is so funny.
I think Mirren is the way to go.
I think you're right, Joe. That was
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's how we play. That's how we play Pick a Pair of Patties.
This was an eventful pick of pair of patties.
That was a great pick a pair of patties.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end. We're in the last stretch of our show.
Yes.
And so before we do the final wrap up of things, I just want to say this is where you can find Lauren and Joe on the interwebs, MrJoeIconis.com, LaurenMarcus.com, at MrJoeIconis, at Laura Marcus on Instagram and Twitter. These are their ats and their websites. So go and check out their work. They're incredible artists, and you should know their full catalog of things. And yes, Patti LuPone is fighting somebody right now.
That was on last week's pillow.
Patti LuPone is fighting somebody.
Patti LuPone is fighting somebody right now.
So, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, give me a drum roll. Yes.
This is for next week's guest.
Our next guest is going to be the fabulous, the scintillating, the wonderful, the glorious Bonnie Milligan.
Right?
Looking all stunning and gorgeous and goddess-like in this picture. Bonnie Milligan, she is damn good. So we're excited to have her. So I will say this to the audience: we're going to play Party Hat as our takeout, but Joe sent us both a door and Party Hat. Like, if you want to bite your bottom lip and just like check out Adore. The opening song in Things to Ruin. I was born this morning, gonna die tonight. It's a slow one.
A slow bop. Mm-hmm.
But I like it. I love it. So we're gonna play this. If you all need to take a bathroom break, you can, but come back because we have one other little thing that we do after the schmoopy-doo.
Close out the evening.
And then so ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Party Hat.
Here in my railroad apartment, tonight I'm just taking it slow. I threw out my tickets to the opera, 'cause nobody wanted to go. I thought I'd just sit here contently, maybe a crossword or four, but I find myself not feeling satisfied. No, I find myself wanting much more. So instead of feeling blue, I know just what I'll do. I'm gonna put a party hat on my cat. We'll dance around and play pretend. I'm gonna wear a golden dress, make such a mess, and never let the good times end. Neighbors can peek through their windows, looking all kinds of confused. But me and my feline won't care at all, 'cause we aren't easily we'll make a racket with no regard. So we won't hear the phone, even if it rings. I'm gonna put a party hat on my cat. We'll dance around and play pretend. I'm gonna wear a golden dress, make such a mess, and never let the good times end. Yeah! I'm gonna squirt a French perfume around the room and revel in the loveliness. I'm gonna put a party hat on my cat and thank my lucky stars that he exists.
Just finished eating some Friskies. She comes at me holding this hand. No, I'm not like, lady, you back the hell up. I don't want no part of that. Then I take a look into her big eyes. Oh, they're sad and a little bit red. And I think of the times when she's fed me food. And I think of the times when she's pet my paws. And I think of the times when she's seen my cause. I sigh and jump up on the bed. Intuitively lower my head.
Look, I put a party hat on my cat. We'll dance around and play pretend. I'm gonna wear a golden dress, make such a mess, and never let the good times end. Come on! I'm gonna squirt a French perfume around the room and revel in the loveliness. Yeah, I'm gonna put a party hat on me. Okay, take my lucky stars that I'm not gonna dance. Yeah, I'm ready. Gonna put a party hat on my cat. We'll dance around and play pretend. Body rolls, golden dress, make such a mess, and never let the good times end.
What's down?
I'm gonna squirt a French perfume around the room and revel in the party hat on the cat. Just give my lucky stars that he exists.
You better thank your lucky stars that I exist. We're gonna thank our lucky stars that we exist. Warren Marcus, Eric Morris.
Hurrah! Hurrah! So fun. Teresa, I must know, what does Diane Kitten think of this song?
I forgot.
Deep
Diane
thoughts.
Kitten.
Deep thoughts for
She
this.
loves it. She
She
loves
loves it.
it. Yeah, she
That
thinks
was
it's very
joy.
respectful.
in the song.
I have to say, you all have been so deliciously lovely.
Yeah.
To us, first time interviewing a couple, and then I saw Eric William Morris, and I'm like, we should get Elise and Eric on this.
It'd be great. It'd be
Yeah.
good.
Like,
That'd be
we
fun.
need to do that. But now it's time for One Wish. Let's spontaneously come up with a theme song for this.
For all of us.
Yeah, all right. One wish.
Not to not 3. 7 minus 6.
That was really good.
That was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was something, that's for sure.
There's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of talent. We do one wish each week to send our guests off with a very happy week. We do one wish because genies give you 3, and I don't like genies.
So you get 1.
You get 1. John Andrew, do you have one wish this week?
I haven't formed it fully yet, but this conversation today has really inspired me. So I guess my one wish will be this: celebrate all of your fucking ands, because that's your humanity. And you can be happy and sad. You can be grateful and angry. Celebrate your fucking ands and celebrate your contradictions, because that's what makes you human. And on that, I will repeat what my friend. So I'm taking 2 wishes. So what, Jeannie?
They live in a lamp too.
Yeah,
So
you don't know what it's like to live in someone else's head. So be kind. That's my thought.
I like that.
For the people this week.
I am in Woodstock in an Airbnb, and I stocked up. We went to Trader Joe's to get the things to come up for like 2.5 days. And I am a sugar person. I like to, in my own head, label myself pre-diabetic. And I love candy, like not chocolate. I love candy. So Swedish fish, jelly beans, But Trader Joe's has knockoffs of things, and they have Scandinavian swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the name of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it is. And they're just a Swedish fish. They're really just Swedish fish. But they're in like crab and lobster shapes. So I'm just telling everyone, and it's not about Trader Joe's and Scandinavian swimmers, but get yourself a knockoff.
Oh.
Fuck the real thing. Go get a knockoff.
Get a goosey.
What?
Get a knockoff, and you'll eat 2 bags of it in 2 days.
Go get some.
Go get a knockoff. Yep.
Lauren, Joe, do you have a wish for the people?
Yeah, I do. So when we were talking about our bank heist, I started fantasizing about Patti LaBelle driving the getaway car, and I mentioned this very briefly, and doing a medley of songs about cars as she was driving. And so I was, as Party Hat was airing, I started thinking about the songs that she would sing. And I was thinking about Pink Cadillac, because that seemed like a no-brainer. And I was like, who sang Pink Cadillac? Who was that? And so I Googled and found out it was Natalie Cole, which is like, yes, of course. Yes, that's correct. And then I was like, oh, tonight I'm excited I'm going to like go down a purposeful rabbit hole of Natalie Cole, hopefully live performances.
Can I make a recommendation?
James has the receipts on all of Natalie Cole.
Oh shit, I don't know
all about this.
There's an entire live
Strange
album. There's an entire live, but there is a recording of her singing "Something's Got a Hold on Me," the Etta James song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
She is literally like, you can almost, if you listen carefully, hear the kite that she is as high as. She does things with her voice that you're like, this is Natalie Cole. I said Cole. Like, you would be fascinated with what she does. And the backup singers, you hear them figuring it out as she's figuring it out.
I love
It's probably like 7 minutes long. It's very long.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Sign me up.
One of the best renditions of Something's Got a Hold on Me you will ever hear. Natalie Cole live.
And that's the performance where she does, sometime I got a good feeling. Is that the same one?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
But there's like there's like a 4-minute like oratorio to
Yeah.
get to that.
Natalie's no joke. She's no
Natalie's
joke.
no
Like
joke.
yeah,
No joke.
and like her early stuff. Yeah. It's
Go
good.
in.
Go in.
I'm gonna do it. And so my wish is just that everyone goes down their own productive rabbit hole of an
Yeah.
artist that crosses their path in
Do
a
it.
casual way.
I love that. I love that.
Fabulous.
That's very similar to my one wish.
Oh.
It was gonna be because I this week, for the first time ever, started listening to the music of Bruce Springsteen.
Oh.
Look, things happen.
Ever?
Well, yeah.
And
Who also has a song called Pink Cadillac?
What?
He also has a song called Pink Cadillac.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He does?
it is
He
so-
does.
He's not what I thought, I guess is what, and like I've been finding a lot of joy in a lot of the music. And I'm
Wow.
saying
People love him.
people, I get it. I just thought I knew it, but I didn't really know it. Like I kind of knew it. So
Alright.
I'd say like this week, if you can go down a rabbit hole of like an artist that you thought you knew but you didn't really know, I think
All right.
that's my wish.
Okay.
For this one person.
All right.
Well, oh my word, this has been delightful and wonderful.
This has been-
And this is our outro theme for Joe Iconis and Lauren Marcus. These are their ats one more time. MrJoeIconis.com, LaurenMarcus.com, at MrJoeIconis, at Lauren Marcus for Instagram and Twitter. And next week, the lovely, the fantastic, the scintillating, the wonderful Miss Bonnie Milligan will be our guest. Let's see if there are any last... Oh, thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Aw.
And so we're going to play our outro, and we'll
We
end
want
the
to thank
broadcast.
Lauren Marcus and Joe Iconis.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
This was
much.
so much fun.
This
Yes.
was so fun. Thank you. Yeah.
So much fun.
So we're going to end, but don't log off yet, okay?
Okay.
Because there's like a backstage moment. There's an after party that the audience doesn't get to have. It's like a VIP after
Do a
party.
virtual, like, hug it out.
Yeah. You know, sometimes we invite special guests to the backstage. You know what I mean?
Uh,
But anyway, all right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye,
watching,
everyone.
and
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Jolene's a horse.
Bye.
Oh wait, what were you saying?
I just said Jolene's a whore's name. That's the
Horse
quote.
name.
It's a whore's name. It's my-
Jolene.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Do you see
Horse
how
name.
I ended our end credits? Because I'm like, he said something
was
scandalous, and I wanted to hear on the show.
I thought it was just going to be part of the hubbub, but
Right?
it's the quote
That's
of
a
the night.
horse name.
A whore's name.
That's a horse name.
I'm getting
On
that
a
on a
pillow.
mug.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.